Hey. It says now you're streaming live.
Does it?
Yes.
I keep looking for Paul Lynn. You
You can be
have
like
to
the
be,
Brady Bunch.
you have to be a little older to understand.
I know who that is. Yeah.
Hey, well, welcome everybody. You ready to get started?
We're ready.
Insist.
All set.
All right, so let's try to share my screen here.
Uh-oh.
It says Jeff. Oh, there we go. Gosh.
I don't know what he did, but
Okay, so what you should see is a slideshow in front of you.
okay.
Okay.
The public library.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:19 p.m.
What time, Jeff?
6:19.
Okay.
And then can I have a motion to expand?
I'll make a
moved.
motion. Oh, okay. Second it then.
Okay. I didn't hear that.
I'm not hearing him either.
Jeff, you're coming
Muffled.
across-
Yes.
yeah, it's breaking up and almost like you're in a tunnel, and it wasn't like that before.
Okay.
It might be a bandwidth issue.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, it happened once you started streaming on YouTube.
Can you hear us now, Jeff?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you, but
Yeah,
your picture isn't moving.
You're frozen.
Okay.
Now you sound like a alien.
Can you hear us still, Jeff? It's coming back.
Says Kathy's the host.
I already switched back and said Jeff was the host now.
It says Kathy. Let me see something.
Yeah.
It might just be the different speed.
There he is.
Okay. Can everybody see me now?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna try out here in the children's area, see if I get better reception. Can you mute your YouTube? Just your YouTube. Were there any questions on the minutes?
No,
They look good to me.
Can you just turn off the sound at the bottom of the picture on YouTube?
no, you're echoing from Zoom, not.
So we'll just approve the minutes as written then. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We did not have any correspondence or public participation, so we move on from there. And then next on the list should be the financial statement. So is everybody seeing my screen?
No.
No, we see you now. Or I do.
So it's not sharing now?
I've got everybody.
I have everybody, but no, no.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's, I think we've got everybody. We just don't have your screen, Jeff.
I did print mine out, so I do have them in front of me.
There, it's coming back. Oh. Oh. I see you two, but I still don't see. Ah,
There
there
you
we
go.
go.
There we are.
Okay.
Small.
All right. so
Okay,
we're on-
good, good.
We're on the
Okay.
financial statement here. Our public library fund for March was $40,829.52. We received our first half levy in March, which was $164,1338. And then our general fund revenue for March was $202,960.10. Year to date, $315,353.32. On the next, you'll see our expenses breakdown. Our total expenses for March was $67,630.49. And then year-to-date expenses, $313,969.88. Our fund balances at the end of March, our general fund was $820,958.01. Building fund, $74,784.69. Major repair fund, $113,125.86. Technology fund, $15,234.46. Any questions on the financial statement?
No, not
None
so
for
far.
me.
Okay. I do have two donations to report. The first one is on March 10th. We received $300 from the Friends of the Library. It was a restricted donation for the bounce house at the food truck rally and also for another program. And then we also have a donation jar on March 17th of $39.82, and that was unrestricted.
I hear
Somebody
harmonica.
playing the accordion.
It's a harmonica. I thought at first it might be Bill with
Let
the
me close my
accordion.
door. It's Bill.
While Carolyn's
Great.
coming back, I move that we accept the donations.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
second. Okay, good.
Who seconded?
Linda,
I think.
Okay, I'm gonna do a roll call vote. We'll see how this goes. Sussman,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Laval,
Yes.
who am I missing? Dalgard,
yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
Okay. Under investments, there's been no change to the current investments. We still have our money with the money market account with Park National Bank. I do have two transfers to tell you about. The first was on March 5th. It was $15,000 from the money market to the checking account, and that was to cover current expenditures. And then as we got our first half levy money in on March 21st, we transferred $125,000 from checking to our money market account. Those do not need a motion. Any questions on the transfers?
No.
No.
Okay. And then, so next on the agenda would be the claim management representative for workers' compensation. And this is for 2021. We've gone with CareWorks in the past. This is how we get our reduction in rates. So we're put into a group. I'd like to stay with CareWorks for this year at a cost of $192. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I move that we continue with CareWorks. They've done a very good job.
We'll second that.
Okay, second.
Was that Vicky?
Yep.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
No,
Okay, roll call vote. Sussman,
yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda, I know it's pretty small on your screen maybe, but we sent it out to you ahead of time, is the March bills to be paid. And then also the April bills to be paid since we did not have a March board meeting.
Is the Jeff Rothweiler the trip that you had for the convention?
It's a combination of that and then other travel. So that was my first quarter travel reimbursement
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
for different meetings and stuff.
And Tim Allwine?
He made some Lego bricks for us that are keychains
Oh,
that we were going to be handing out at our Lego club to the participants.
cool.
So hopefully when we do get that started back up, that's going to be a marketing tool for, they're just Lego, little Lego keychains that say Pataskala Public Library on them.
Excellent.
Any other questions on March's bills?
No.
Need a separate motion for those? I'll make a motion that we pay those bills, or do you doing April and May together, or March and April together?
You can do them under one motion,
Okay,
and then April should be on your screen there now.
yep.
All right, I'll entertain any motion to approve the bills to be paid.
Vicky will make that motion.
Kathy DeVoe will second it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call. Any further discussion?
I just was going to ask if you were happy with the masks that Tristigus made you.
Yes, we are, and they were $5 a piece, so it covered the employees, each employee here.
That's good.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Sussman,
Yes,
Lee,
Yes.
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
Who am I missing?
Me, Hayes, yes.
Okay, you were on my screen. I couldn't see you.
It's okay.
All right, now I will turn it over to Mary, and she will do her director's reports.
You hear me now?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so our total circulation is down 40%, but there is a huge increase in e-resource use since the shutdown. New patrons are down 63%. Reference questions are down 32%. Program attendance is up 80%, and that is because we included Facebook programs like
Not hearing you, Mary.
what's that? Can't hear me?
You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the program attendance is up 80% because we included Facebook programs like the book brackets and the virtual story times that Rita's been doing. Internet use is down 58% and Wi-Fi use is down 25%. Any questions on that?
No, but I just wanted to say that in the midst of all these changes, I think all that we're doing with the e-resources and the Facebook, like story time and that kind of thing, I think is great.
Yes, I agree. I second that.
Yes.
We'll certainly tell the employees, especially Rita, she's been working very hard on this.
She has, and that's great. Someone on there had made the comment I think it was a parent that she comes to their school, and I'm not sure if it was Liberty Christian or maybe over at the Early Childhood Center, and that the children really like her, and that they were really happy to see her on Facebook with the story time.
Oh,
That's
good.
nice.
Anything else? Got your volume ready, done? Yep. Okay. All right, so we'll move on to old business. We appreciate the feedback. We're trying to do everything we can do under circumstances. So under old business, you'll see we have modern library, hotspots, Pataskala Parks, Wi-Fi. I kind of lumped those together. My comment being hotspots and the Wi-Fi are on hold indefinitely with everything that's going on. I don't think it's, I still think they're two projects that are very important, but I don't think it's something that we can do under the circumstances at this time.
I agree.
So we will continue to, have that on here as we move forward and watch how the revenue and the state budget continues to develop during this time. The modern library, what I will say to that is Nashville feels like it was a year ago at this current time, even though it was only about 2 months ago. Had a good time. I got a lot of good information, good ideas. And I think that can still be going on in the background. We'll still be working on that. I'm not stopping on that. It might be at a slower pace, just with everything else that is going on, but I will continue to work on that moving forward. Any concerns or questions with that?
Nope.
The last thing on old business was our 2020 permanent budget. So I have on the screen the revenues. So this is what has been presented to you over the past 2 to 3 months. We wanted to pass it in March, but we were unable to have our meeting. So we did not make any cuts to the budget that you have in front of you. However, under old business, as we get down there, or I'm sorry, new business, as we get down there, we'll talk a little bit about what we have cut internally out of this budget to help offset the state revenues that will be missing. So then there's the salaries and benefits for 2020. And then the operating budget. I know that's a little small. Are there any questions on the permanent budget?
None from me.
No, none for me.
Okay, would anybody like to make a motion on the budget for 2020?
Vicky
no,
will
I
make a
will.
okay.
Everybody at once.
Delay. Vicky will second it then. How's that?
Very good.
Who was the first motion?
Linda?
Linda? Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Sussman,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, so new business. This is the last slide I have, and then I'm going to put us all back on the screen. So I apologize to Gail. I'm going to jump around a little bit.
Okay.
The agenda I sent out, it kind of makes sense to do two motions to kind of get those before we go into the discussion of the current events that are going on.
Okay.
The first one being the mowing and landscaping contract. I sent that out for Caldwell's. There's no change in the price for this year. Were there any questions on hiring Caldwell to do our mowing and landscaping for this year?
I have none.
No, he's done a good job, I think.
He has.
Okay.
Doing things and helped out when we needed it. He's great.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract with Caldwell's Landscaping.
I so move.
I'll second Kathy Duvall.
Kathy, okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Lee,
Yes.
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Duvall,
Yes.
Sussman,
Yes,
Rummel.
Aye.
There's always got to be one.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're
Canadian.
going from Kathy's yep
Yeah.
to Doug's aye.
All right,
So
so
should I
I'm,
put all yes, except for Doug? Aye.
so I'm going to move down to I, funny, on the agenda. Their delete inventory. So we purchased a new projector screen. Ours was getting a little old. Unfortunately, we can't have movies right now inside the library after all this happened. But we got rid of the old projector screen and it had a tag number of 293713. So I'll entertain a motion to remove the old projector screen.
I so move.
Okay,
I second Carolyn.
okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Sussman's drinking. This is perfect. Sussman,
yes,
Lee,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Duvall,
Yes.
Rummel,
Aye.
and who am I missing? Dalgarn.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
thought I had time. I went last time.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. All right. Are we all back now?
Yes,
Yes.
I think so.
All right. So to give everybody just an update on everything that's going on and what we've been doing. So we are modifying our services. It is our intention and our plan to start curbside services on Monday. So we will hold a staff meeting on Friday. The employees have been broken into two teams, Team Red and Team Blue. They've been broken in a way so if something would happen with me, Kelly's still on the other team for the finance side. If I were to get sick, and then Kelly's on the other, or Mary's on the other side for administrative purposes. We've split Caleb and Scott to have that technology overlap. And then we've split Rita and Laura to kind of have that children's programming overlap as well.
Thanks, good.
So the thought is one team will work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The other team will work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And it's going to alternate week by week for the time being.
Okay.
Our hours are probably going to be Monday through Thursday, 12 to 6. And then Friday, Saturday, 10 to 2. So we'll be able to do curbside pickup. People can come up. We have safeguards in place that we'll go through the staff with as far as wearing a mask. We're going to have tables set up outside where we will place their items after they are checked out. So we are not actually taking it to them or to their car. Any materials that are being returned to us, we're also concerned with those. There's not a fine set rule out there for how long those materials need to sit for books or how long the virus could potentially be on plastic. There's different hours that they've put to it. Our plan, we have bins. So our plan is all the returns will go into the book drop. And then those bins will be rolled into the library and they will not be touched for 72 hours. So for 3 days, they'll sit there. Hopefully, if there is any sort of COVID-19 or the virus on it, the virus will go away. Our employees can check them in at that time. So we've put together some of those safeguards in place at the time. And we'll present this to the staff on Friday. Are there any questions in regards to that?
That sounds good.
None from Vicky.
Okay.
Sounds like you've given it a lot of thought, Jeff.
Mary and I both have.
Yes, and Mary.
Yeah, we've both put, I mean, it seems like it changes by the hour almost too, and we've edited the
Mhm.
so much.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to be a moving target, and it's going to change as we get more
Mhm.
information. So Mary and I will keep, eye on that, communicate with the staff. As far as programming and the story trail goes, there's no programming at this time. More than likely, our summer reading program is going to be canceled. Unfortunately, we're going to try to do virtual programs where the performers can do the program online, Facebook Live, and then we'll have a way of the children to track their reading and all that, and still have a prize to give out. But there will
That-
probably not be any program within the library.
Okay.
And then the story trail has been canceled, but we're hoping to still put a new story up this year. I haven't reached out to Suzanne lately. Carolyn, would you have any update as far as that goes?
I do not.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I know that it was in the works and they've been working on it, but I think Brandon Signs and Suzanne can put it together so we can get one this summer. There just won't be an event for it. CLC update. So until there is a scientific evidence saying how long this virus is staying on materials, and Columbus has partnered with Battelle and OCLC to do testing on books within their facility to see how long the virus is alive and when it dies. So until we all know as a library consortium on how long we need to quarantine these materials, what we need to do to these materials before they can be transferred between libraries, there's not going to be any transfer of materials. So I am going to talk to CLC about that transportation cost, because we are by mid-May, we'll be about 2 months without transportation costs. And I really think that some of that money should be, reduced if we're not getting the service. Columbus Metro has furloughed a little over 600 of their employees. They just announced today that they have reduced the hours of 200 more employees, about 10 or 50%. And so I don't get a sense from them that they're going to be opening anytime soon. They're a big transporter of materials. Other libraries are starting to do curbside pickup on Monday. Other libraries are waiting until May 12th to do curbside pickup. Other libraries are doing May 19th to do curbside pickup. I wouldn't say the frustrating side of it, but it is kind of frustrating. We really haven't got much direction from the governor. He hasn't spoken directly about libraries themselves. He's spoken about office space and retail and that sort of thing. So it feels like at this time, a lot of libraries are kind of trying to make their own decision for their community and what makes sense for their community. Carolyn, looks like you might want to add something.
Well, I was just going to say the last question the governor got today was about libraries. And
Okay.
his comment was, well, we all love the libraries, but we're concerned about space and the gathering of people. So we'll have to, what he did was put it off, put off addressing it.
Yeah. So it's kind of our intention here to operate with curbside pickup for the time being. Mary and I will continue to talk through May to see what makes sense about possibly opening back up and what that looks like. We've talked about we're not going to have 10 internet computers for the public. It might be only 4 or 5 because you have to space those out. There is guidance as far as how many people are allowed in, and it's 50% of your fire capacity, which I still think is a lot for us. I still think it would be over 100, and I think it needs to be lower than that number. We're also discussing one entry, one exit, and how that works. So there's some different things that we can put in place if and when we do open back up to the public, but there hasn't really been no other library system has put a date out there saying we're going to open on this day. This is when we expect patrons to start coming back into our building. CLC has been good with communicating to us. They have a patron services meeting once a week, where they go through, just more new information, what's going on. I'm meeting with the Licking County directors through Zoom next week, so we'll see what they have to say as well. Another library to point out, Fairfield County, just today furloughed half their employees. So those sorts of things are starting to happen, but it's my intention to hold off as long as possible for Pataskala Library to do anything like that. Any questions? It's kind of a big picture overview of what we're doing. Any other thoughts or concerns?
Jeff, how do you know, or do you know, like when the materials come back and you say you're going to put them in the bin for so many days, then do those get put back into circulation? And how do you know they're okay? And I'm just asking because I don't know.
There's not really a test out there that says those materials are okay after X number of hours. The best that we've seen so far is, they say, if you quarantine them for 72 hours, that's the best thing you can do. And that's kind of why they're doing the testing right now through Battelle to get a more accurate picture on that. So that's what we're going with. I know that's what most of the other libraries that are starting curbside delivery and these materials coming back in, they're also putting their materials off to the side for 72 hours. Another thing I'll add to that is one person from a red team and one person from a blue team are going to be designated as the people only to roll it in, so nobody else touches it. And that's going to be Mary and I. So we will be the ones bringing the carts in, and before anybody else touches them, and they'll sit there for 72 hours before they even go to any other employee to be checked in.
I do want to add that there have been tests that say that this virus stays on plastic the longest for 3 days. And that's what we're going with. Why the 72 hours?
And then
There's
the
nothing,
books,
there's nothing
the books-
specific about library materials.
well, and they'll be wiped down after you, like with a disinfectant, or do you think just letting them set will be enough? Okay.
Yeah, we're thinking about just letting them sit, not wiping down the materials. I don't think that that's something that's feasible that we could
Mhm.
do for every single material that comes in through here. And we're just kind of following the guidelines, what the other libraries are doing, of the rule of just letting them sit for 72 hours.
Okay. And then is that something that once you decide on that protocol, Jeff and Mary, that you'll let the public know on the protocol on
Yeah.
the materials?
We can put out there in our announcement when we start curbside delivery that, any return materials, well, they have to know anyways that those materials are still going to be on their card also. So they've been returned to the library, and if they see and they haven't been checked in for 2 or 3 days, I think some of them might get concerned anyways. So I think we will be putting out there that, your materials, when they're returned, they're going to not be checked in for 72 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm working on a statement right now to address that issue and let the staff know what we're doing to protect them,
Okay.
as well as our materials and our staff.
Okay.
And that'll be on our website and social media.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Any other thoughts or questions?
Well, it's just, it seems so surreal it almost leaves me speechless, actually. But thank you, Mary and Jeff, for all you're doing, because it's not easy.
Yes, I thank you. I agree.
We're trying to find a new normal, and with the curbside pickup too, we'll be able to print off tax forms or that kind of stuff for patrons. Make that available. That if and we're not going to charge them for printouts
Okay.
at this time. Up to I think we said 20, 25. It's kind of 20 to 25 pages, just to try to help out as well, because we're still getting phone calls in regards to tax forms, and so
Okay.
we move back. I think we're going to get a lot of that.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that Mary has drafted up and we've been working on is the pandemic plan. I don't have it to show to you on the screen here. It was emailed out to you. Were there any questions on that plan?
Well, Jeff, I was going to ask you about the fact that masks weren't mentioned until I watched today. So evidently it doesn't matter.
Okay. I think that just kind of falls under, we're following those guidelines as far as what the health department's telling us to do and what the governor's telling us to do.
And this plan was drafted back in April? No, even before that. It was back in March. I think before we even closed. So we do kind of have to revise it to include masks, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. I did have a question, and this might be just me because of my age and situation. It's under C when you go to the very first paragraph on the last page, and you say if an employee is self-quarantined by a health official, the employee will be compensated. I'm sitting here thinking, does it have to be a health official if it goes along with the guidelines? Like if the governor has told you, if you're over 65 and you've got immune, or other problems, do you have to have a health official? Do you count him as a health official, or just how specific do you need for that person to still be compensated?
That depends on what I think what you want to have in writing. Do you want something in writing from the doctor that says they've been exposed to it, or that they have it, or that, if we're just following the guidelines, what the governor says? We could certainly add those to that statement.
I'm not sure it needs to be. I guess I just wanted it clear in my mind, thinking that if I were a library employee, and like in the situation I have right now with Bill, he's considered, somewhat in having a problem because he's just had his surgery. So he's got, they're telling him he shouldn't go out, he shouldn't go anywhere. And therefore, I don't want to go out or go anywhere for fear of bringing something in. Would that still cover me under this if I were an employee there?
Not the way it's written right now, I don't think, but that's something that we could probably add to the plan itself. Not exactly sure how that would be worded, but Mary and I can look into it.
Could we add something about special circumstances? Would
Yeah,
be
It could be worded that way, and it could be worded in such a way that the board could vote on it for final approval.
Special circumstances under consideration of the board members or something to that effect.
right.
Yeah, I think we could add that.
That's
Or
good
it could,
point,
it could be just at your discretion.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could do it that way too.
Dan. Mhm.
That would be what the board's comfortable with, I think.
That's probably going to be the best, because if we can't meet for a month and the person, and if it was tomorrow that someone comes down with it and the question's out there, it would, you'd have to give notice of a special meeting, and it's probably better to stay at the discretion of the director.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on the pandemic plan? Do you want us to make those edits to it and bring it to the next board meeting, or just approve it with those changes?
I'm fine with just approving it as is.
Yeah, so
Me too.
Vicky would second just approving it with a addition, change, whatever you want to say.
So who's the first?
Vicky, what? Vicky?
Was Gail?
Gail was the first, I think.
Oh. I so move.
Or at least she said she was fine with it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Sussman,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Dalgarn? Is your dog voting for you, Dalgarn?
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Duvall,
Yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. We'll make those changes to it. We appreciate your feedback on that. And even if you're still looking over that, just give us an email, give us a call if you think something else needs to be added.
It looks very well done. Thank you, Mary.
The next thing on the agenda with, due to the circumstances and just everything that's going on, talk a little bit about the budget. So as far as the budget goes, the libraries are saying we could lose anywhere from 20 to 30% in the state funding over this next year, which to us is probably about $120,000. Through April, so we got our PLF in April, and it was 12% under budget in April. And you got to take into consideration that's March's revenues.
Yeah.
So it's just going to get worse from there.
Right.
So with that being said, the Ohio Budget Management made a directive that they could dip into the rainy day funds if they so chose to do so. There is Lieutenant Governor has indicated there's about $2.7 billion in the rainy day funds, but he's also indicated that they would need double that amount in order to come up with the shortfall over the next 15 to 18 months. So I don't think they may dip into it. I don't think they're going to dip into all of it, but it's not going to cover what we're losing. So what we looked at a budget standpoint is where can we cut $120,000 out of our budget? So by looking at that, I'm trying to find my papers here. So there is a contingency line. We have $25,000 in contingency. I'm just considering that not there. Like I lost Kathy's video feed. There she is. Okay. And then, so we're not going to have as many programs, supplies. We've made a 20% cut to the materials budget for books and AV and those things. I'm hoping that we save a little bit of money from CLC due to the transportation costs, transportation not going on. We had extra funds put in also to hire a lawyer when we were talking about a modern library. We put about $10,000 in the budget to have a lawyer. I don't think I'm going to be doing that this year. I think I'm doing some research on my own and where that leads me. All total on the operating side, we were able to cut about $94,000 on the operating side of the budget. And then as far as the salaries and benefits goes, there's a little cushion in there in some of those accounts. For health insurance benefits, the premiums were a little lower, so costs won't be as much there. There's an accrued sick leave account, which you don't have to dip into. But the savings on the salaries and benefits side, it was about $15,000. Well, all total, that gets us to right around $110,000 that we're able to cut out of this year's budget without making too many changes to the services that we're offering and without affecting our staff for 2020.
Great job, Jeff
Yeah.
and Mary.
Mhm. Thank you.
Or anything else you think I should be looking at or considering? I mean, I think we'll know more as these numbers come in over the months.
I don't know how you would know with so many moving parts right now and so many unknowns out there. I don't know how you would know where else to look at this point.
Well, we're trying to get ahead of it a little bit, and we've communicated that to, our staff and to the ones ordering the materials and that kind of thing. So we're trying to make a collective effort to see where we can save money. So with that, I would like to put in place a hiring freeze. If anybody were to leave the library at this time, I don't foresee replacing them at this time until we have more information, what's going on as far as the revenues with the state and all that.
I agree with that.
Is that something you need a motion for?
Yes. And then, so I would entertain a motion for a hiring freeze, and then just make it indefinite until circumstances change. And then I can bring it back up at that point.
I still move we have a hiring freeze in place and that it is indefinite for future changes, any future changes.
I second it, Carolyn.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay,
None
roll
for me.
call vote. Sussman,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes,
Duvall. Uh-oh. Did we lose
Yes.
Duvall?
Yes. Sorry.
Am I still on my back? I lost connection. for a
Kathy's
while.
napping. Kathy's napping.
No, I'm not. I'm here. My service went out. I had to reconnect.
Oh. Okay. So the last thing before other on here is with this red team and blue team, we are not going to be getting our normal scheduled hours in for everybody. It's just not going to happen. But we do have a schedule out there that we would normally have, a regular schedule. So I would like to still pay staff what they regularly would be working during this time, if that's feasible with the board.
I like that idea.
Yes. I
do-
agree
I
too,
agree.
Vicky.
I agree.
Okay, and my only question on it is, do you want to put a timetable on it? Do you just want to monitor it as it goes? Because I don't know how long we're
I'm
gonna,
hearing weird things.
huh? I'm not sure how long we're going to be operating under these current circumstances.
Why, can we just say we want to do it until we reassess the situation at our next meetings or in the future, whenever we need to assess that again and make changes
Okay.
if we need to.
Okay, I'm comfortable with that. I just want to make sure the board was too.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I will, if somebody would like to make a motion that we continue to pay staff their regularly scheduled hours under these modified conditions.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Linda.
I'll
Yes.
second. Kathy,
Kathy, okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Sussman,
Yes,
Lee,
Yes,
Dalgarn,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes,
Duval,
yes.
Rummel.
Aye.
Okay. That's all I have. Does anybody else have any other comments or concerns that they need to bring up at this time?
I want to commend you for doing that. I think that's exactly what we should be doing.
Thank you.
I agree.
me too.
Well, I know that the employees, they certainly appreciate it. We've getting a lot of message from them. They appreciate your feedback and support through the situation.
Yes, I got a message from two of the employees thanking and asking that we pass that on to the board members, that they were so appreciative of the continued payment to them, and they want to make sure that we pass that along to the board.
That's good. Well, I think we have very loyal staff.
yes.
We
And,
do.
Well, and it
I
has to be
appreciate that.
good PR, if that's the right word to use, for future employees, that that they know that the library takes care of their employees and their staff. And that's a lot in today's world, because a lot of employers don't do that.
Correct.
That's just a feel-good moment.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments, concerns? Okay, I know we had a few hiccups tonight, but I think we got through it all. Our next scheduled meeting is May 26th, which is the day after Memorial Day.
I will not be, well, I was gonna say I may not be here, but I may be. We're supposed to have company come in from out of state, but guess as I'm saying that, I'm not sure if that will happen.
And more than likely, it'll be another Zoom meeting.
Okay.
I don't foresee us opening back up in May to be able to have a public meeting. So we'll be doing curbside services. Hopefully the next one goes a little bit more smooth now that we're all getting used to this. I think my kids and I included, we go through about 6 or 7 Zoom meetings a day. A bit of a challenge.
Jeff, just a question. What if, in the past, if we have some reason that we have to go into executive session,
I can't hear.
how would we do that? Or you just turn, and if we went into executive session, we'd just go off of Facebook, YouTube at that point, and then
Yeah.
go on?
So if we do go into executive session, I can stop the live feed to YouTube and then bring it back up when we go out of executive session.
Got it.
Yep.
Good job, everybody.
All right.
Crazy world we're in.
Isn't that
Well,
the truth?
thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
Now,
Healthy.
I've got a question. This is, please don't put this in the minutes. But
Well,
I've
you
got a
know-
very skinny screen, and I'm not complaining. But is there any reason why I'm so skinny?
Maybe turn the phone the other way or turn the device.
Turn your iPad. Yeah.
I might not like it. Oh, no, I'm gonna be skinny.
All right.
We're through anyway. Oh, if it only were so easy.
It's fine. It really is.
Okay, am I skinny on yours?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You look like Twiggy.
Oh, good. Always
And Mary-
liked her.
Mary, I will scan or just pop these notes in the mail to you.
Okay.
Jeff and Mary, thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Bill,
Thank
we
you.
enjoyed the background music.
I will tell them.
That was great.
That's funny. Yeah.
All right, everybody take care.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry about
Thanks,
this.
guys.
Everybody, stay healthy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.